Good morning and hi everyone, welcome to SGLED's Cyber Monday Amazon deal. So obviously you will have started kind of looking at deals and sales that you can grab hold of for Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday itself is kind of based around technology, kind of electronic goods and things like this, like products for your home. So this is kind of the best day to actually try and grab hold of a deal for kind of home improvements, kind of garden accessories, or kind of any type of electronics. So for Cyber Monday this year, we'll actually be trying to kind of have a big sale on our LED lights, our garden lights, our interior lights, our indoor lights, and kind of all of our lights on offer as well, including our grow lights and floodlights as well. So this is actually kind of a big Cyber Monday deal for SGLEDs. We'll kind of cover some of our big discounts, our original prices, discounted prices, and the percentage you'll be getting off on each product. So we'll kind of go through the long list of each product, highlight some of their key features, what they're doing, how you can use them around your home, and some of the general specifications, just so you can get an idea of what you're kind of looking for. And then we'll kind of outline the kind of deal and price for today on SGLED's Cyber Monday deal. So we'll kind of cover the first product for our for the Cyber Monday deal. It's actually our garden solar powered light. So this is our solar product. It's a new product, it's one of our new releases, and this is actually on sale for Cyber Monday this year. Actually, it's kind of unusual for brands. They don't usually put their brand new products on kind of Cyber Monday deals or Amazon Prime Day or any kind of sales day. It's usually older products. So actually you're kind of going to be grabbing a new nice product, like a brand new design, a new kind of piece of technology for Cyber Monday this year. If you will head over to our kind of SGLED's Amazon Cyber Monday page. So we're kind of going for big deals and big offers this year, as it kind of this year's been a bit kind of unstable kind of to talk about. So this year we're kind of going for some new products, new designs, and we're going to be offering kind of some big discounts on them as well. So this is our garden landscape light. As you can see here, it's kind of relatively tall. You can install it multiple ways in the front or backyard or anywhere on the exterior of your home. It comes with a spike, so this means if you want to stick it in the yard, kind of in the grass in the front or backyard, you just kind of will stick it in there. You can adjust the D2D panel there, and then you just kind of, if you want to, you can loosen it and kind of adjust the head as well. So as you can see here, you can kind of turn the head up and down and things like this. So you can kind of change the landscape light to fit your home. However, you can use it as an up light, a down light, or kind of just general illumination in the front or backyard. So in terms of some of the specifics, we'll cover the discount first. So the original price of this 2-pack, so it does come in a 2-pack. The 2-pack of landscape lights, the original price is $44.99 on a normal day. So for today, it's actually $27.99. So today you'll be getting 2 of these LED solar panel landscape lights for $27.99. So this is a 38% discount. So 38% off today for Cyber Monday, and it's $27.99. So you can grab 2 of these for your front or backyard, kind of stick them in for $27.99. So today is a 2-pack for $27.99 for landscape lights. In terms of practicality, if I was going to be using them in the front or backyard, I would actually prefer kind of using them in a larger number or a bigger scale than just 2 lights. So in terms of if I was to buy a 2-pack, I would actually try and go for more packs just to kind of fit the whole yard, especially if I had a big or kind of medium-sized front or backyard. As you can see, if I kind of cover the D2D panel here, you can see the beam. There is multiple settings for brightness, and you can see there kind of the beam is relatively bright for a landscape light, but actually if you kind of have a very large or medium scale kind of garden or area in front of your commercial building, you would need more than obviously one kind of twin pack of these. You would kind of need them in a group. Also, using these in a group actually builds up kind of a nice accent light as well. If you had kind of rows of these kind of horizontally or kind of linearly, if you had rows of them, they do create a kind of really nice lighting kind of accent effect on the exterior of your commercial or residential building. Just kind of depends on what look you're actually going for. However, I would suggest kind of grabbing this as a deal, even if you just want to just to try them for your kind of the exterior of your home. These are a great buy. They are on very good offer today. It's kind of unusual for LED solar lights to kind of be under $30, especially for outdoor lights. So these are kind of a steal today for Cyber Monday. So they are $27 for two. So kind of if you're looking for a medium scale, kind of 8 to 10, or if you're looking for a very large scale, kind of in very large numbers, kind of 10 to 20, 20 to 30 to cover a very large area. They are on sale and they do have a big deal on, kind of 38% off. So do try and find this and look out for it, just so you can kind of fill the front or back of your kind of building, residential or commercial, with these landscape lights. We'll cover some of the basic features of the light. Obviously you saw the beam. It's a 5000K beam. It comes out kind of relatively natural daylight with some blue tint as well. So if you're kind of putting that in your garden or in front of a commercial building at night time, it will create a stark contrast, especially from pitch black kind of in the night. In terms of the solar panel on the top, as you can see, it's a very large solar panel, kind of almost, it's probably a little bit larger or longer than the light itself. So this means it's going to be consuming kind of a lot of sunlight, changing this over to a lot of energy to be used from the light at night time. So actually within the kind of solar panel itself, it has a D2D dusk till dawn sensor. So this means once it goes dark, it will actually kind of adjust to the lighting on the outside of your home. Yeah, as you can see there, if you cover the panel, just is kind of replicating darkness under 150 lux, which is enough to make it kind of start working. Replicating kind of nighttime conditions, the light itself will turn on just by kind of covering it with your hand. That's kind of a way to check as well. So it actually has a D2D sensor inside the LED panel, inside the solar panel, and this is kind of how the light works itself. So it works off kind of reactionary, kind of once it gets too dark, the light will come on. It's important to remember, especially with LED solar lights, because they do need to kind of be charged throughout the day. You do need to place the the solar panel in a place where it can kind of collect the most sunlight. So if you're going, it needs to be in an optimal position. So if it's out in an open space during the daytime, it's perfectly fine. Daylight will kind of make it consume enough energy anyway. Even on a cloudy day, it will be enough to kind of consume enough. You just don't really want kind of very large plants or anything kind of covering the panel, as this may affect the performance later on. It does need about 4 to 5 hours of exposure to sunlight a day, so that the light will be able to kind of be on all night time to kind of provide you with the light you need. So just covering this light again, as we will be switching over to some other products, we have a lot to get through. So this is the LED landscape light. It has 38% off today, and it's at the price of $27.99. So it comes in a 2-pack. It can be wall mounted as well. If you were to put it in here, you can attach it and kind of move it vertically, just to kind of adjust and become an accent light as well. So it can be wall installed, wall mounted, and it can be put in the garden just for a spike in the grass. So it's either going to go in the yard or kind of wall mounted on the exterior of your home. They do provide kind of a nice 5000K beam that will kind of light up any area generally. It has some effective accent lighting features too. So these are kind of a really great buy to grab hold of for Cyber Monday this year. So now we'll switch over to our other solar panel product, or solar product. It's actually our Stair Lights. So these themselves actually come in a 6-pack. So our Stair Lights actually come in a 6-pack. So once you purchase this, you will get 6 lights in the box. Their normal price is actually $28.99. So just under $29 is their normal price. However, today for Cyber Monday they are $21.44. So this is actually a discount of 20% off for $22.39. Sorry. So for this year it's actually $22.39 with 20% off for our 6-pack of lights. So I do apologize for that. It's $22.39 for the solar Stair Light. With 20% off this year. So if we just kind of take a quick look, they work kind of relatively similar to the garden solar light. However, they do get installed differently in comparison, and they have kind of different uses or practicalities. So if I was to cover it here, you can see the D2D kind of works relatively well. It's got a D2D sensor inside the solar panel, the same, similar to and the same kind of the LED design as the landscape light. However, they are kind of meant to be either wall mounted or kind of installed in stairs. So if we were to kind of wall mount this light, we'll kind of show you on the poster itself, it kind of just goes against a flat kind of surface. So you would kind of install it here, looking at it like that way, it will be installed there, and then during the daytime it would come on there and provide some kind of general illumination or accent lighting, depending on what you're kind of going for. So if there was actually a door frame here and it was the exterior of your home, maybe you can cover the entrances or exits of your home. So you would have one kind of either side of the door. So you would have one here, and then the door is in the middle. It's kind of providing general illumination and some accent lighting too, if you were to look there. As you can see there, the light itself actually works relatively well. It would bring some accent and general illumination depending on what you kind of need from the light itself. As you see, kind of as you can throw it around, it's very lightweight. It's kind of it's durable, but it's lightweight. So obviously the casing is aluminium or stainless steel, and it's kind of durable and ready to be used outside. They're kind of great options in terms of kind of if you're trying to light the exterior of your home especially. So if you're trying to kind of illuminate the outside of your home, entrances or exits mainly, they can kind of illuminate these areas, especially if you're just trying to kind of get the key in the door and things like this at night time. It does provide some accent lighting, some nice lighting, and it's kind of practical at the same time too. So your neighbors and things will begin to notice if you do have these installed on the exterior of your home, as when it's kind of dark during the winter days, especially and winter nights, it will kind of bring out and adds kind of a new dimension to the exterior of your home. If you do have stair light or stairs on the exterior of your home or going towards your house, or you have kind of dark hidden areas, kind of corners and stuff at the rear or sides of your home, these are also very good options because they're small, they're easy to install, and they provide kind of perfect enough lighting just to kind of light where you need. So they are very good options this year for Cyber Monday. They're a brand new design from SGLEDs. They're very practical. They're kind of on offer this today, just for today on Cyber Monday, for $22.39 with 20% off. So 20% off this 6-pack. Once you've bought a 6-pack, obviously, I mean, in general, homes have kind of 3 entrances or 3 exits, depending on the way you look at it. So there would be 3 entrances to your home with kind of 3 doors, a front, a back, and a side door. So with a 3-pack, with a 6-pack, so with one purchase of a pack of 6, you will be able to cover each kind of entrance to your home. So the front door, the side door, and the back door will be covered with one 6-pack of lights. You can kind of go, if you have stairs as well, and you want to kind of cover or kind of make sure the exterior of your home and this kind of leading up to your home is kind of fully covered with exterior lighting or accent lights. You can kind of go for 1 to 5 packs of these kind of 6-pack of lights. So with 1 pack you can cover the entrances of your home, so each door with 2 lights each, so that will be enough illumination for each area. And then if you're kind of looking to light up maybe some extra areas on the exterior of your home, maybe some walls or the side kind of your home, and then you can kind of install these on stairs as well leading up to your home, so you can use them as path lights as well. So if you kind of buy more than 1 pack, multiple packs, you will be able to cover kind of most of the outside of your home. So you can kind of use them as stair lights, path lights, and kind of entrance and exit kind of guide lights as well. So now we'll kind of move over from the solar products. These are actually both of our new releases, and we'll kind of move towards some of our previous products that we've always kind of gone for. So this is actually one of our most popular lights that we've always sold. For this year it is on sale again. It's actually the Br30 Bulb. So this is actually one of our most popular products has been on Amazon for kind of a long time, and we actually have a different range of these lights on sale. So we actually have the 2 Br30s on sale for this Cyber Monday, the 30-watt version and the 40-watt. So what I have in my hand here is actually the Br30 30-watt version. As you can see here, there's actually 4 ceramic heat sinks, so that means it's the 30-watt version. The 40-watt version will have a heat sink in the middle, and the diameter will be a little bit wider on the face of the light. So the face of the light on this one is actually relatively wide, as you can see here, kind of covering my hand. It looks about kind of 3 to 4 inches kind of in diameter. So the face is very wide. This is good for dissipating heat away from the LED chips in the heat sinks, and kind of just about promoting a cooler body, a cooler light, and kind of a longer lasting light. As you can see, if you're looking very closely at the light, each one has a ceramic heatsink. So ceramic heatsink is actually kind of our patented technology in terms of how we dissipate heat away from our LED chips. So we use COC, chip on ceramic technology. So we attach a chip directly onto the ceramic heatsink, as you can see here, and we have 4 of these, and then as they're attached to the ceramic heatsinks, the heatsink will passively move the heat away from the LED chips through the hollow body of the bulb. So if you were to kind of use this, they're usually hung vertically, kind of pointing downwards. They're used kind of generally in barns or garages, warehouses, anywhere that needs kind of very bright, clear light for kind of task lighting or general illumination. So we'll kind of plug it in, the Br30 30 watt. They are very bright and they are very effective in kind of area lighting and providing general or task lighting as well. So as you can see here, that's actually a 5000K beam. It's very bright, it's kind of replicating natural daylight, and the light itself is kind of covering a wide area. So the beam itself, due to the fact that the body of the light has a very wide face, is very even and is actually covering a very wide angle as well. So the beam angle itself will be around 120 degrees as an estimation, as it comes out at a very wide angle, and it does cover evenly kind of the whole area. So the light distribution coming from these lights is actually very practical for kind of work-oriented lighting. So if you're using it in a warehouse or a workshop or kind of a garage, these lights are very practical in terms of that, as you won't get kind of, if you're working on the edge of the light where it reaches 115 degrees, you will be able to work very well under this light. It should be even and working very well and providing you with even light everywhere. So as you can see here, the light itself is actually very even. There's no kind of very focused, intense beam in the middle, and then the edges are kind of a little slightly dimmer. It's actually kind of very even throughout the whole kind of beam that's projected. So these lights are actually very good for warehouses or farm or barns or kind of anywhere that needs a very bright, effective kind of light. In terms of the performance of the light, obviously, and the design, you can tell the body of the light is a hollow body. As you can see here, looking at it, it's a very large body, but it's very wide, kind of wide-faced and hollow, just to promote heat dissipation and air convection. So in terms of the light actual performance and simple kind of installing it, is actually very simple to do. So it requires very little maintenance. As it's an LED kind of light, you will just kind of plug it in and it will go. There's no warm-up time. There's no kind of any worrying about installation fees or anything like this. You just screw it in with its screw base, and then it's just ready to go. So in terms of the base itself, it's E26. So this means this light looks like kind of a commercial work light, but it can be used within the home and in the garage very simply and easily, as it does have an E26 base. So it's very simple to install. It can be used all around the home, and it can be used in various applications. So residential or commercial properties will benefit from the use of this light, as it can be screwed in anywhere. It's very simple to use, it's very simple to install, but it does provide very effective kind of bright light. So for this year, for this Cyber Monday, the discounted price itself is 26% off, and it will be sold for $21.44, and this is the 30 watt version. The beam itself is 4,000 lumens. In terms of the 40 watt version, the beam is actually 5,500 lumens, so a little bit brighter. However, kind of on the camera, you wouldn't really be able to pick this up too well. However, there is a slight brightness difference between the 30 and the 40. And when you look at the light itself, it will have a slight difference in design with the LED heatsink in the middle. The Br30 bulb, the 40 watt version, is 29% off, and the final price is $23.39. So both of them are going for relatively high discount prices. The Br30 30 watt is 26% off for a final price of $21.44, and the Br30 40 watt bulb is going for 29% off at $23.39. So if you're looking to kind of illuminate a very wide and kind of task-oriented area, especially around the home or commercial property like a warehouse or a workshop, or you just need a kind of bright light to work under. These are very good lighting options, so you can kind of put them in your ceiling, in the roof, and just kind of work underneath them if you do need bright general illumination. So that was one of our most kind of common and popular sales all year. Actually, our Br30s are very popular, and they do kind of always go very quickly, so you do need to look out for the Br30 bulbs, as they do kind of always disappear very fast, as they're kind of always grabbed by commercial buildings or kind of people that need task-oriented lighting, supermarkets and things like this. So if you're looking for one for your home, a Br30, you just kind of need to grab one quickly, as the commercial kind of B2B sales will kind of pick up as well. So they are kind of a very popular light that we just need to all kind of grab before kind of they get sold in very large quantities with a discount. Now we'll cover our general bulbs that are very popular for garages or indoor lighting. So these are actually the 22 watt omnidirectional bulbs and the 27 watt. So these are our general bulbs that are used kind of in the home and just around the whole kind of, you can use them in your home in anywhere really. You can use them in the kind of kitchen, dining room, dining area, living room, just depending on what you're kind of looking for. So they actually come in various sizes. This year we're actually discounting all of them, so all of our general bulbs for inside the home, dimmable and just dimmer and non-dimmable lights are all kind of going for sales. So they all come in 2 packs. It will be the 27 watt version, the 22 watt version, and then the 15 watt, just the 22 watt. All of the dimmable and non-dimmable versions will be on sale, sorry, for this year. So we'll just plug one in and then you can kind of take a look at the effect and how they work. So you can just look at the body and design of this bulb itself. This is, in terms of kind of interior home lighting, this is one of our most popular bulbs on Amazon. This is because it's kind of omnidirectional, the bulb goes out at all angles, but it is kind of a very practical and bright light. As you'll see in a moment when I plug it in, they're actually very kind of bright and kind of durable as well, so they are very good for being used inside the home in areas that kind of require a bit brighter light but not so intense. So the kind of 3000K or 2700K versions do provide some softer light, especially for a bedroom or living room. If you're putting them within a lampshade, as long as it's not fully enclosed, they will work perfectly fine. So we'll just cover the discount. For Cyber Monday this year, the 22 watt version of these bulbs is actually 35% off, and that will be a final price of $20.14. That's actually for 2 bulbs, so you will be getting 2 bulbs for $20.14. With this similar design, this is the 27 watt version, however they do look exactly the same. So the 22 watt version does look identical to a 27 watt version, it just depends on the wattage it's going through. So the 22 watt does look like this, and they kind of perform similar. They will just kind of have a slightly lower lumen output compared to this one, but on the camera they will kind of appear the same anyway. So it's 35% off for the 22 watt bulb version, and it's 35% off for the 27 watt version. The 27 watt bulb is actually at the final price of $23.29. So the 22 watt bulb for this year, the twin pack is $20.14 at 35% off, and the 27 watt bulb is $23, final price with 35% off as well. So all of them have 35% off for this year, our omnidirectional bulbs. We just kind of cover the design, some of the ideas behind them, and kind of how they work and where you can use them. So in terms of this bulb, as you can see, it's kind of fully covered in LED chips on the tip head of the light. This kind of provides the omnidirectional beam that you'll be looking for. Although the beam itself doesn't have any LED chips on the top, so it will not be a full kind of 360 degree beam. It will be 270 degrees. So it comes at a 270 degree angle, which is a very wide coverage angle, and it will actually be an evenly distributed beam due to the fact that the LED chips are spread evenly and kind of covering the whole body of the bulb. Then you see here, actually it's the ceramic heatsink that kind of encases the whole head of the bulb. So this is very good for dissipating heat and reducing, kind of increasing the life of the light. The reason for the ceramic heatsink being so long and wide around the whole bulb, first of all, it's kind of to install, so you can kind of install so many LED chips around the bulb. However, it's also the kind of wider or bigger the faces of your heatsink, the more efficient it will be at moving heat away from the LED chip. So if you have a wider face on a heatsink, it will dissipate heat faster away compared to kind of a smaller heatsink that's very fat. You need kind of a very wide facing one that's not very thick. So this is kind of the most optimal design for moving heat away from LED chips in LED lights. Once we plug it in and turn it on, you'll be able to see kind of the performance and how they look. So actually the beam itself is kind of, this one looks like a 4000K beam, or 5000 maybe. 5000K, as you can see here, is kind of replicating daylight, or kind of, yeah, it seems about daylight there. So it's 5000K. It's a bright white light that can be used all around the home really. Once you put it in a lampshade, it's kind of very comfortable. Obviously when you've kind of got a bright light, a bright LED with nothing covering it, it can be kind of, it can seem a little intense. However, once you've got it in your home with a lampshade, it will be coming out kind of a lot more softer and better for the home. So as you can see, the beam itself is actually very even and very white and bright. And it's kind of providing just general illumination for the home. You can use these in the kitchen, as it's 5000K, a 5000K kind of daylight color temperature. I would advise to use them kind of in the kitchen or dining room or anywhere that kind of requires a bit more general illumination or task lighting, kind of oriented task areas. In the bedroom you can get the 3000K version, which is softer and warmer light, and it would kind of provide better, kind of more comfortable, kind of sleep-oriented general illumination. We may have a 3000K version here that we can kind of plug in. So that was the 5000K. As you can see, that was daylight and very kind of white light and intense. And we may have a 3000K version here to kind of show you the kind of thing that you'll be looking for. So we'll kind of open one of these up, the smaller version. We will have a 3000K version maybe here. This is 3000K. We don't have the 3000K version available, but it's kind of like a softer orangey light that would kind of be able to provide your home with more comfortable kind of sleep, kind of encouraging light. So these are a good lighting option for your home, and they can be used kind of everywhere, just kind of as long as you're ready and willing to kind of look out for the deal today and kind of grab them as they're on offer. So actually the omnidirectional bulbs for this year, just as a kind of quick reminder, they're actually very popular, especially as they come in 2 packs or twin packs. So they are all 35% off for this year, and they can be used kind of all around the home, and they're at $20 for the 22 watt version and $23 for the 27 watt version. So now we'll switch over to our candelabra bulbs. So actually these are actually kind of a very unique design and kind of one of the most unique or kind of different lights you can actually buy in terms of the LED market. So this is actually a 3000K, so we can kind of plug it in kind of quickly just to show you what a 3000K beam would look like. As you can see, maybe not on the camera you can see, but the LED chips, if you're looking at a 5000K or a 3000K beam, a 3000K beam or a 5000K beam, actually the LED chips will be a different color. So if you're kind of looking for a very quick way to identify a light, whether it's 5000 or 3000K, actually the initial thing to do, as long as it's turned off, would be to kind of look at the LED chips themselves. So if I'm looking for a 3000K kind of light, this is in general anyway, if I was just in a shop looking kind of Home Depot out, kind of outdoors, I would just look at the LED chips. So if the LED chips are orange or kind of look like an orangey color, this light would be kind of more towards 3000K. Anywhere between 2500 or 3500K would have an orange kind of looking LED chip. And if you're kind of looking for a 5000K kind of daylight beam, LED light bulb, just kind of look at the LED chips and they will be kind of yellow looking. So the LED chips for a 5000K kind of replicate actually how the beam would look. They are kind of yellow white kind of looking. So they're kind of, you just, as a quick tip, as long as you're kind of looking at lights outdoors as well, not only on Amazon or something, if you kind of come across an SGLED bulb and you're unsure what kind of color temperature it is, first of all, the easiest way is just to look at the LED chips. So if you look at them, the chips are orange, the chances are the light would actually be coming out at a kind of orangey color as well. So LED chips are kind of more straightforward than you think. They're not as complicated as some people kind of make out to be. So 3000K would kind of have an orangey LED chip, and 5000K would have a yellow kind of whitish LED chip. So now you kind of get an idea of what 3000K would actually look like, as we didn't have the 3000K omnidirectional bulb. This is a candelabra bulb, however the beam color or the color temperature of orangey red would be the same as the omnidirectional version we just spoke about. So that's a 3000K beam. So now we can kind of talk about the candelabra bulb. They're actually kind of one of the most popular accent lights in general. They've obviously kind of come away from the original, which is really just a candle. So they're actually used in chandeliers, kind of general illumination for the dining room or kind of in the living room, anywhere that you're kind of trying to get efficient, energy efficient, green lighting that kind of adds a nice kind of aesthetic look to it. So in terms of the candelabras for this Cyber Monday, they're actually 50% off. So 50% off is maybe our biggest discount for today on our candelabra bulbs, and kind of out of all of the lights, this is our biggest discount. So our candelabra bulbs are 50% off today, and this will result in the price of $8. So they actually come in a 3-pack, so the pack will contain 3 candelabra bulbs for $8. So you're getting 3 lights for $8. At 50% off for today. So Cyber Monday is kind of a great day for grabbing candelabra bulbs if you're trying to kind of fill your home or the aesthetic or interior of your home with some kind of candle, energy efficient looking lights. So as you can see here from the design, they come from the original design of a candle. So as you can see, they do look like a candle as well. This is kind of just to replicate that look that kind of people are going for in terms of chandeliers and aesthetic interior design, ceiling lights, pendant lights, just anything that's kind of hanging down from the ceiling. So these are very good options, especially at 50% off, our biggest discount for today on any of our lights. 50% off is the biggest discount on candelabra bulbs. So if you're looking for something very kind of, it looks nice, it looks kind of, it brings a nice beam to the room. If you're looking for something kind of not colourful, but warm, kind of slightly, yeah, it's kind of warm, comfortable, and does bring kind of a nice light to the home. If it would be coming vertically down, it will kind of illuminate a very nice kind of wide area. However, kind of candelabra bulbs are traditionally used vertically as they are in chandeliers, kind of being held up. So if you do kind of look at it from this angle, they do kind of create a very nice warm glow. So it's kind of more of a glow than a kind of intense beam output. So they do create a nice glow, especially at 3000K and at kind of the lower lumen level, as you're looking for kind of comfortable light as opposed to something very bright, very practical, task oriented. So they are kind of comfortable for the home. They're great for living rooms, dining areas or dining rooms. Commercial lighting, they can be used, especially if you're kind of looking to kind of make your interior design look more unique and more comfortable for your kind of customers that are coming in. So if you kind of own a kind of a shop that's based around home interior, things like this, these are very good commercial options as well. So at 50% off, they're kind of the biggest discount today, and they are kind of a bit of a steal for Cyber Monday. So if you're looking for comfortable, kind of effective light that will light up a wide area, however they do come in 3-packs, so they will kind of be able to light up the whole room. These are actually a very good option with 50% off today. So now we've kind of covered the candelabra bulbs and most of our kind of indoor bulbs as well. Our enclosed fixture rated bulbs are actually available as well. So these are actually our interior enclosed fixture rated bulbs. So these are kind of one of our most unique and kind of our most proud designs that we've come up with to date. So why would an enclosed bulb be so kind of important in terms of the LED industry, or for an LED company to come up with? Traditionally, or especially in the most recent years, A fully enclosed rated bulb has actually been very difficult for LED companies and kind of manufacturers to kind of produce. Why is this? This is kind of the main reason behind this is just because LED lights their kind of main kind of issue or kind of kryptonite, as Superman would say, is actually heat. So heat is actually the biggest issue in terms of the lifespan of LED lights. So as long as you can keep the heat away from the LED chips and kind of keep them as cool as possible, the light will last as long as it's kind of suggested. In terms of using fully enclosed luminaires or kind of using LED lights in fully enclosed luminaires, people have done this obviously in the past with lights that aren't fully enclosed, and it has reduced their life. So to come up with a unique design that produces the same quality beam that can be fully enclosed is actually a very big step forward. Not just for SGLEDs, but for LED lighting in general. So LED lights, as long as they've kind of began to unlock the way to use LED lights in fully enclosed rated fixtures. These are actually kind of one of the best new inventions or creations, developments that any kind of LED companies have come up with to date. So it's a very big step forward in terms of SGLEDs and for LED lighting in general. So you're kind of still being energy efficient whilst having the most practical and kind of light you can use all around your home and kind of however you want to use it. Before we were kind of held back and could only use them as we were told, whereas once you've got a fully enclosed light, you can kind of use them within an enclosed fixture or not. It's kind of up to you, whereas before we didn't really have the choice with LEDs. So this is why it's a big step forward for SGLEDs and for kind of customers in general. So if you're looking for a light that will kind of work and not reduce its life being used in a fully enclosed fixture, these are actually the best options you can kind of get at the moment on the market. So what are they? This one is this 12 watt version, as it's very small. This might be the 8 watt actually. This is the 8 watt version, sorry, the smallest of all of them. And the 8 watt version is actually kind of one of our most popular sales in terms of fully enclosed fixture rated, as it's the smallest. People like putting small kind of lights in very small enclosed areas, very small enclosed luminaires. So in terms of very small boxes, fully enclosed luminaires, outside the home, inside the home, it just kind of depends on where you want to put them. So the 8 watt is actually very popular due to its kind of very small size but effective beam. So we'll plug it in and you can kind of see how the 8 watt fully enclosed bulb will work or look. As you can see there, it's 5000K. So 5000K is the natural daylight. The lens itself covering the light kind of reduces the intensity, so it's not too bright, not too intense, and not kind of too bright and effective in terms of kind of lighting your home. So they can be used within enclosed luminaires, and they are very good at kind of lasting the whole lifetime that you needed them to. In terms of the deal for our fully enclosed luminaires this year, all of our fully enclosed bulbs are 30% off. So it's 30% off all of our fully enclosed luminaire bulbs for Cyber Monday this year. So the 16 watt is $26.59, so just over $26 for the 16 watt version. The 12 watt version is $24.49, so just over $24 for this year, and the 8 watt is $20.29, so just over $20 for the 8 watt version. So they're each 30% off, and they have kind of a relatively large discount for Cyber Monday this year. If you're looking for kind of fully enclosed discount rated bulbs, these are kind of the way to go, as they're effective, they're bright, they come in 2 different color temperatures, so 5000 or 3000K can kind of cover and fill all of the interior of your home. So now we've kind of covered the enclosed fixture rated bulbs. We can just kind of go through and move on to our next kind of category. So we've kind of we've categorized each of the bulbs for this sale this year. This was actually the fully enclosed rated bulbs. So these are actually kind of, without sales, they're one of our most popular bulbs, as they are fully enclosed rated, and that is kind of our main feature. This is actually one of the bigger versions, just so you can get a better idea. This is the 12 watt version before we move on to the grow lights. This is the 12 watt version, so as you can see, it's similar in design and build to the 8 watt. It's just a larger version, so it's a scaled up version of the 8 watt version we just saw plugged in. So we'll plug it in. Maybe we'll plug it in quickly just so you can get an idea of the beam and the power. However kind of it's functioning, it's fully enclosed rated, and it does work exactly the same. So that's a 5000K beam as well. As you can see, these lights are kind of very effective for lighting large or small areas depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to obviously if you're trying to light a larger area, 12 watts, kind of in larger numbers would be better obviously than an 8 watt. However, if you're kind of going for smaller areas, as they are fully enclosed rated as well, the 8 watt can be a great option just depending on what you want. So now we'll move over to the grow lights, the indoor grow lights we have for this year. They're all on sale, so actually all of our products are on sale for Cyber Monday this year, and we'll just kind of cover our grow light category as well. So our grow lights are actually some of the most kind of effective grow lights on the market. The great thing about kind of SGLEDs grow lights is actually that they do light up kind of, the great thing is that in terms of the SGLEDs grow lights is that they come in a very wide range. So we kind of cover all areas and all aspects of indoor grow lighting in terms of residential or commercial lighting. So this is our smallest version. As you can see here, it's kind of a very small, kind of cute looking 10 watt grow light. So this is a 10 watt indoor grow light. It's very small, even just in my hand you can see it kind of is very small, just in the diameter and kind of the face of the light. So this is the 10 watt indoor light version. The 10 watt version is actually a P20 shade with 25% off for this Cyber Monday. So 25% off, the final price will be $10.49. So an indoor grow light, especially an LED full, this is a LED full spectrum kind of indoor grow light for just over $10 is actually kind of it's a good deal actually for this year. So if you're kind of looking for a very effective indoor full spectrum grow light for $10, this light could kind of be a really good option. So we'll plug it in just so you can get an idea, as kind of people, indoor gardeners always like to kind of see how the light looks, how the beam kind of reacts and looks on the camera or not. So as you can see here, the beam itself is not actually too intense. It's kind of very good for, it's very wide. The beam actually is kind of wider than expected. The beam itself actually comes out at a very wide angle. This is due to the wide P20 face on the front of the light. So as you can see there, the front of the light, the face is actually very wide. So I'll kind of tilt it a little bit down there, just maybe you can get an idea of how wide the face is. In comparison to the body of the bulb, the face is actually very wide, so the beam is very even and will cover more area than your kind of you would kind of expect a 10 watt indoor grow light to cover. So these lights are actually very practical, they're very good, and they're actually very effective in kind of promoting growth evenly as well. And this is kind of a key thing that people worry about when they're using indoor grow lights, is kind of how even can the plants grow underneath them, because kind of you can get a grow light that's kind of very intense, very effective at growing a plant in one area. However, if you're not kind of covering all of the area of the plants and it's not even, you've essentially kind of damaged your plant rather than had an effective kind of even growth that's kind of more optimal in the long term for your plants and healthier growth as well. So these lights are actually very good for promoting even and kind of healthy natural growth. So they are full spectrum beams which kind of replicates natural sunlight, and the beam itself is actually very even, so your plant will be well covered and kind of grow kind of healthy and naturally as it would outdoors. So that's the 10 watt version. As you can see, there is a very small version, and they do produce a very nice kind of bright beam that would effectively kind of promote growth. So this is our biggest indoor grow light, the 36 watt version. You'll kind of see the size difference in a moment when I bring out the 36 watt. Although it's actually it's much bigger than the 10 watt version, in terms of indoor lighting, it's still a very kind of small practical option. So as you can see here, even though it's very large compared to the 10 watt, it's still actually relatively small and practical for indoor kind of office or home lighting. If you are looking to do commercial indoor grows or vertical farming in large scales, these are very kind of practical as they do fit anywhere. You can just kind of install it, screw it in, and it will hang down there. So it's actually quite small in terms of indoor grow lights. It's just compared to the 10 watt, it will look a little bit bigger. But if you actually hold it in your hand or something, it's not so big. It's not very overwhelming, but it will cover a large area and kind of circumference of plants. So this is our biggest indoor full spectrum grow light from SGLEDs, and we'll just plug it in so you can get an idea of how it looks and kind of the beam gives you a feel. So as you can see there, it is kind of a little bit more orangey tint, so this might be a higher red ratio in comparison to the 10 watt version that may have a higher blue ratio when you plug them in. So it just depends on what kind of blue to red ratio you're going for, what kind of stage your plants are in whilst they're growing. But overall, a full spectrum beam is kind of the best option in terms of natural growth and promoting kind of replicating natural sunlight as well. So this will promote healthy and the most natural kind of scenario for your plants to grow in under kind of indoor conditions. So we're all just trying to kind of replicate the natural environment of plants using kind of artificial lighting. So in terms of artificial lighting, actually it comes out very naturally. As you can see, kind of the beam itself looks kind of like an orangey yellow glow, replicating natural daylight or sunlight itself. So as long as you're kind of getting very close to natural daylight, you're going to be promoting kind of healthy, natural, even growth as well in your plants. So this light itself is actually a 36 watt version with 35% off, and it will be $25.99. So kind of they're all on very good offer for Cyber Monday, all of the grow lights, the grow lighting options. So they're all 30%, the 15 watt version is 30% off for $10.49. The 36 watt version, this one here in my hand, is $25 and 35% off for this year. And the 10 watt version is 25% discount for $10.49. And the P25 15 watt version is actually $12.99 final price with 35% off. And the 24 watt version, which does look like this, just with one less heatsink in the middle, so it will be missing not missing, but it doesn't have the middle heatsink, and it's 30% off, so it's $20.99. So they're all kind of relatively large discounts, anywhere between 30% and 35% off for this year's Cyber Monday. So if you're looking to kind of grab an indoor grow light that does kind of produce very natural light, but at kind of relatively high levels, practical lighting that can be kind of screwed in and it doesn't require any maintenance, these are all kind of very good indoor lighting options. This itself here seems like the 15 watt, this is the 15 watt version. The design is kind of relatively similar to the 10 watt. As you can see there, it has kind of the clouded lens and a very wide face, but a thin kind of body as it goes towards the E26 fixture at the bottom. So they are screw-in bulbs, which is kind of very practical, especially when you're looking to grow indoors or inside your home, or kind of trying to do some indoor farming. If you're kind of trying to promote kind of, if you're using it as a supplemental light, or if you're just trying to start right from the beginning, these lights can be used throughout every phase of the plant's kind of growth phase or stage. So whether it's vegetative, a seedling, or kind of it's just kind of coming towards flowering or blooming and it needs some extra light, these bulbs do kind of produce and provide enough light, and especially the kind of color temperature or kind of spectrum beam that your plants would need through any phase of their growth. So these are actually very practical, very useful, and for the kind of 30 to 35% off discount for this year on each of them, they are kind of very practical and they're a really great steal for Cyber Monday this year. So if you kind of are looking for even supplemental light or non-supplemental light, just looking for a light to kind of for your plants to start off with, to kind of get off with a better start in kind of their growth phase, indoor kind of LED full spectrum lights are a great way to start, especially with kind of winter. We're kind of in the depths of winter now. It's the start of December, so these are actually a very good option in terms of kind of lighting the plants inside your home. So next we'll kind of take a look at our Rgb floodlights. These are also kind of very good Christmas lighting options for the exterior of your home. We'll kind of take a look at this one. This seems like the 30 watt version. Yeah, this is actually the 30 watt version of our outdoor Rgb LED floodlights. So as you can see here, it's kind of got it's got 8 heat sinks on the face of the light. It's relatively small, but it will be very bright. So once we turn it on and you can take a look, you will see how effective these kind of Rgb floodlights are in terms of lighting or illuminating wide areas. So as you can see, it's got a very wide face. The beam angle itself will be about 120 degrees coming out from this angle, and they will cover a very wide area, especially on the exterior of your home. They've been known to be used for kind of wall washing effects or accent lighting on buildings or bridges. Some of our customers do use them for kind of commercial lighting. If you're trying to kind of get a strobe effect of kind of red, green, blue on a restaurant or something on the exterior or entrance or exit of kind of a building. If you're a restaurant or you just want to get some attention in terms of people looking at the multiple colors and strobe effects, these are very good options for that. In terms of event lighting, these can be used at kind of discos, parties, any kind of place that requires different strobe lighting effects as well. The kind of whole idea behind this light and the design was actually to have something that's kind of can be used for events, but can also be used throughout the whole year. So just because it's a light that produces strobes and kind of nice lighting effects specifically for kind of Christmas or a party or somewhere that required kind of a different type of lighting, these actually do have white light and general kind of illumination lights as well. So they're not just for Christmas, they're not just for kind of parties, they're not just for kind of grabbing attention, they are actually practical as well. So this is kind of the main reason we designed these. We had the idea of having a light that can be used kind of throughout the year instead of just one time a year where you just bring it out and you're kind of using it one time just for some colorful effect. So it can be used in the exterior of your home all year for general illumination or kind of accent lighting or wall washing or silhouetting, just depending on what you're trying to do with it. So it's actually a very kind of versatile light. You can hang it down through a tree or something and do some kind of wall washing on the tree. Or you can kind of wall wash your home, the walls. It's just a great exterior light, or kind of if you do need it, it can be a party light as well, just depending on what you're trying to go for. So the light basically moves, it kind of adapts to what you need. So if you're looking for kind of general illumination that's safe and secure and bright, it does that. If you're looking for kind of party lighting or kind of some kind of general illumination that will kind of provide colorful effects and kind of strobes and things like this, it does that too. So it's kind of a very good light. It's kind of a good initial investment with the higher cost, just to kind of, you're covered at all areas for 50,000 hours. So 50,000 hours use, as long as you kind of get the colors and stuff that you want out of the light, it's kind of a good investment, I think. And once you're kind of using the control on it, it will be effective in terms of kind of illuminating areas. So we will plug it in now, and then we'll just kind of take a look and show you how the light works itself once it's plugged in. So we'll just plug it in quickly, and then we'll start using the control as well. So as you can see here, it does have a control kind of on and off switch. It will kind of be able to move to switch from mode to mode. So it will go from pink to blue to green to red. So as you can see here, it does have a memory function. So this is the last kind of function we had it in. It seems to be red. Oh, this is red, sorry. So now it's in red. It was in memory function before. Now it's green. As you can see here, the light itself, kind of the beam that comes out from it is about 3,000 to 4,000 lumens. As an exact measurement, I wouldn't exactly know off the top of my head. However, it does appear to be about 3,000 to 4,000 lumens. So 4,000 lumens from 30 watts is actually very bright and effective. This is the main point from this light we were trying to get at earlier without the light on, but however the light is on now. It actually is one of the kind of very few LED outdoor floodlights that does produce a white beam. So it does mix all of the colors in each LED chip. So this is actually very important, kind of a key feature to remember, that actually it does have a mixture of the kind of RGB LED chip. So it's not just kind of separately producing the colors, it does it all itself in one mix. So this means you can have a white light for general illumination or the exterior of your home when you do need it. If you're looking for party effects, there's red, there's green, and here's blue. So if you're looking for a wall washing effect, you can do this. This light is very capable of doing that. It does have dimmer and modes, there's multiple modes, and there's actually kind of 16 different colors. So as you kind of point the light, the colors do change. Gold, orchid, purple is kind of a favorite of mine, pink, aqua, cyan, orange, coral. So as we go back to the basic kind of white color, just to kind of give you a better idea of the general use and practical applications, we will switch it into the various modes. So it does have strobe, flash, fade, and smooth mode. So if we were to set it into different modes, as you can see there, it is fade. So we'll put it down here just against the wall, kind of the backdrop, just so you can kind of get an idea of how the light itself will actually look when it's kind of in full effect on a building or a wall. So this would be a wall kind of wall washing effect. This is white. It's not too effective on the camera, but as you can see here, that would be green, blue for wall washing effects. The light is kind of pointed up at a relatively kind of high angle, so when you kind of want a strobe effect, as you can see here, this is strobe. This would look kind of nice on the exterior of a home or a commercial property, so just at night time, if this light was illuminating these kind of areas, it would be very effective in cause of kind of creating colors as well. So there's flash. Flash does kind of move relatively quickly. If you're looking for kind of, this is more kind of outdoor party, patio kind of like kind of patio parties or kind of garden general kind of colourful lighting. This is a great option as well. So this is fade. Fade is this kind of slightly slower version than flash or strobe as well. And then smooth. As you can see, smooth actually provides some kind of nice colourful effects as well. So it just kind of switches colour, changes the effect that you need. You can adjust the dim, like the kind of brightness. So they are dimmable as well. So it just kind of depends on what you're going for. So as I just said, it kind of into just bright white mode there. You can see that the light itself, actually we'll kind of carry on talking with a mode just so you can get a better idea of how the light works. So as it flashes in the background, it's actually in strobe mode, so you can see the colours changing behind me whilst I kind of cover the discounts and the codes and stuff. So that was actually the 30 watt version. So as we kind of cover, for this year, the 30 watt version is $27.29 with 30% off. So 30% off for this year would be about $27 final price. So 30% off on our 30 watt version. Our 50 watt version is also 30% off at $34.99. And our 50 watt version is also 30% off with a final price of $43.99. So it's 30% off on all of our Rgb floodlights. They're outdoor kind of exterior lights. They are IP65 rated, and they are kind of very good kind of lighting options for your exterior of your home or commercial kind of property. So it's 30% off all of the outdoor Rgb floodlights, and they do have some kind of practical general applications for throughout the rest of the year. So they're not just a party light, they're not just kind of used to illuminate kind of any area or kind of Christmas lights. They are very practical and good for Christmas lighting. As you can see, they do have various effects, as you can see here. However, they can be used throughout the year as well, so they are kind of better options just to be used all year rather than just for Christmas or a kind of a party scenario. So now we kind of finished with our Rgb floodlight series. We are on to our final discount of the day, and that is our security floodlight. So our security floodlights, obviously security lighting is kind of the most popular way, the most popular kind of category for any or for most lighting kind of companies. So security lights are always popular. So it's kind of hard. It is a very hard area to stand out in, especially for LED lighting, because they're all kind of very effective. They're very bright, and people are always looking to grab the edge or the best deal or the best light. So security lighting is kind of the most competitive aspect of LED lighting. However, I think SGLEDs actually do it really well. We kind of cover all areas and bases and have some more practical applications, maybe than some others with a kind of slightly lower price as well. So we'll just kind of cover the design, as kind of people always do want to kind of see the applications and what you can do with the security light. So first of all, the most important part, well not most important, but one of the most important features of this light is actually the adjustable head. So it does move horizontally, and it does turn vertically as well. So you can adjust the twin adjustable heads however you need. So it's kind of very practical in this sense. You just kind of move them and however you need. So if you need one up, one down at a strange angle, it's actually doable. So it does make this light very practical in terms of if you're trying to cover the corner of your home or kind of any area of your home that does require kind of specific security lighting or commercial property. These are very practical lights. So as you can see, these lights are very good in terms of covering wide areas or kind of corners of buildings, wherever you kind of need the light to cover. So they are very practical lights, and they can be used all over kind of residential or commercial properties. So the sensor itself, it has kind of a 15-meter detection range, as long as you install it at the recommended installation height of 2.1 meters. So that is around 7.1 feet as an estimation. So 7 foot high is kind of a very good. It's kind of the average height you can install any kind of security light on a garage. So to get 15 meters detection range from this is actually very effective, especially from a PIR sensor. So it is infrared. It will sense most heat motion coming towards it, and it will protect your home as well. So the light itself actually has kind of different toggles. It is very customizable. So on the bottom of the light, it has a lux setting, a timer setting, and a range setting. So the lux setting is actually about kind of setting the light up to be used dusk till dawn throughout the day or nighttime. So I would set it in the middle as a suggestion, just so it doesn't react too much to the changes in darkness. If it's a cloudy day or a sunny day, it will kind of prevent flickering if you put it in the middle, so it's not overly sensitive and it's not kind of undersensitive at the same time. In terms of the time, this is just kind of up to you. This is very customizable and your kind of choice on how long you want the lights to remain illuminated once you've kind of turned the lights on. Once the lights have kind of captured some motion. So once they've captured motion, how long do you want the light to remain on for is kind of determined by this toggle here on the bottom of the motion sensor. And then we're going for range. So range is actually kind of how sensitive or how far you want the light to actually sense motion going past it or coming towards it. So this is kind of controlling how sensitive and how reactionary you want this light to be. So it's kind of working around you. It's very customizable, and it does everything you kind of want to do in order to protect your home. So they are very bright, they're very practical, and they are very customizable. So security, in terms of improving security on your home, is about having a light kind of work around you. So this is good it's better, the more kind of customizable options you have on your security light or any kind of security, the safer it's going to be. So as long as you're more kind of able to customize it to what fits you and your home, the safer you're going to be overall. So it's a good option in terms of setting it to however you wish to fit your home, fit your security needs, and kind of get the reaction you want from the light. So it is a reactionary light. It will kind of switch on and turn on, reacting to motion sensed on the sensor, just depending on what mode you have the light in. So it does have test mode, which is obviously kind of self-explanatory. It is test mode. So when you first get the light, just kind of move some motion in front of the sensor, and the light itself will switch on, just to kind of make sure that the motion sensor is working. Auto mode. So auto mode is actually one of the most common modes that people use this light in. This actually means the light is reactionary. So in terms of reactionary lighting, means the motion sensor is working and the lights illuminate every time that the motion is sent by the motion sensor. So if you set the light into auto mode, I would not kind of place it near anything that kind of creates or has kind of high heat fluctuations. So I would not kind of install this light, as it is an infrared sensor, near kind of another light source or another heat source. So not near a kind of air conditioning units or anything, as the heat may kind of cause false triggers on the infrared motion sensor. The next mode it has is on-time mode. So this is actually more kind of practical for commercial kind of businesses or homes, residences or residential properties out in kind of more barren areas or kind of with less neighbors around. On-time mode means that the light will remain constantly illuminated for up to 6 hours. So 6 hours of constant illumination. You do need to kind of be careful with this, especially if you live in a built-up or kind of street or area, as the light will remain on for 6 hours at a time. It just depends on where you live. If you live out on a farm, or you're just looking for general illumination or security lighting for your commercial property, on-time mode is probably the most suitable and best mode for you. If you live in a built-up area, auto mode, where the light is reactionary, may be a better option. And the final mode is D2D or dusk till dawn mode. So the infrared sensor itself also has a dusk till dawn sensor inside, a photocell that will sense the change in light, like kind of darkness or contrast outside. So once the light drops beneath 150 lux outdoors, this light will actually illuminate and stay on as well. So It will stay on for about 6 hours once it does sense that there is a change in light. So this is kind of more of a security or general security for commercial properties as well, or farmhouses, or kind of houses that are not in such kind of built up areas as well. D to D mode is very practical. It saves you energy throughout the daytime as the light is switched off, and then it becomes reactionary and illuminates for 6 hours once the darkness has been sensed outside. So this light is actually a very good kind of property, it provides a lot of security for any type of property, whether it's commercial or residential, or just kind of needs a bit of extra supplemental general illumination. So they do have floodlights on top of it. This will provide very wide coverage out at about 120 degrees each side, and it will kind of cover your home for safety. It will be reactionary if you set it in that mode. So just kind of however you want to use the light will kind of determine the settings you put the light into. So it does provide very bright beams. They are 5000K, so it will create a stark contrast at night time. It will be very obvious once the light turns on. It will grab attention. So in terms of security lighting, it's a very effective option. So for this year, our security lights, the 18 watt version, which is a slightly smaller version with just 2 heat sinks in the heads, will be sold with 30% off at $27.99. Our 36 watt version, which is a slightly bigger version than this with 4 ceramic heat sinks, will be sold at $41.99 with a discount of 30% off. Our 27 watt version, which is this here, the 27 watt version is 30% off at $34.99. And our 36 watt version again is 30% off with $38.49 as well. So each security light on SGLEDs for Cyber Monday is 30% off, and they're kind of all ready to be grabbed and kind of used on the exterior of your kind of commercial or residential property. So this year for Cyber Monday, just kind of covering again, I'm going on a broad overview. Each light kind of has it's a relatively high discount price, so it's kind of ranging between 20% to 30, right the way up to 50% off on candelabra bulbs. So our highest discount is candelabra at 50% off, and kind of our general discount is 30% off around there somewhere on each product. So if you're looking for indoor grow lights, I would kind of head over to SGLED's Amazon page for today for Cyber Monday and grab those if you're kind of a keen farmer. If you're looking for security lighting, these are very good options just for kind of covering the exterior of your home. If you're looking for kind of just general illumination indoors, obviously the omnidirectional bulbs are very good options. If you're looking for more specific fully enclosed lighting, fully enclosed bulbs will kind of cover this with their discount too. So we're just kind of pushing you and kind of want you to kind of head over to SGLED's Amazon page this year for Cyber Monday, and you can just kind of head over. Most products have around 30% off, apart from candelabra, which is even higher, 50% off. So we hope you kind of head over to SGLED's today for Cyber Monday and just kind of grab as many deals as you can. Buy in pairs, buy singularly, just do whatever kind of the best kind of option is for you.